Hello everyone, I'm Nitish Sharma on the behalf of EduBridge IAS, and we are continuing with our Indian Polity and Governance series. Today we'll be continuing from Article 29 onwards. We'll be starting with Article 29, and remember the Article 29 is saying that it is available for the protection of the interest of minorities. Now the first question that may come from this is that can any citizen who does not belong to a minority utilize the rights given under Article 29, or the rights under Article 29 are they available only for minorities, or anyone can take the benefits of it? Just post your answers, because we'll be understanding about this. UPSC time and again focuses upon on these two articles 29 and 30, and at most of the places we tend to ignore these articles. Anybody? Very good. So look at this, which is mentioned here, that any section of citizens. Okay, so the subheading of this is saying that the protection of interests of minorities are to be secured, or the interests of the minorities are to be secured. But Article 29, it provides the protection to any section of citizens. It is not limited to minorities, and any section of citizens that are residing within the territory of India, and if they are having any distinct language, any distinct script, or a distinct culture of their own, they have the right to conserve it. Is it clear? So Article 29 part 1 says that any citizen, it is limited only to citizen, but it is not limited to minorities. These 2 points you need to remember. It is not limited to only minorities, but it is limited only to citizens. Those who want to secure their distinct language, script, or culture, they have the right to do that. Is it clear? The second part the second part of this article says that no citizen, it means it is still limited only to citizen, can be denied admission into any educational institution. Any educational institution here is limited to institutions which are maintained by the states, the institutions that are receiving aid of the state funds. In those institutions, no one can be denied admission on the grounds of religion, race, caste, or language. On these grounds, no citizen can be denied admission. Religion, race, caste, or language. Is it clear? This is provided under Article 29. Now, one question that may come here is that can an educational institution discriminate on the basis of class? Can an educational institution discriminate on the basis of class? First question. Second question, are they allowed to discriminate on the basis of sex? Can they discriminate on the basis of class? The second question, are they allowed to discriminate on the basis of sex? So the answer to this is that only these are the grounds that are restricted. Only these are the grounds that are restricted, and that is why we need to remember that in boys schools girls are not allowed to study, in girls schools boys are not allowed to study, because the discrimination on the basis of sex, it is allowed for the protection of certain section of students. Is it clear? Similarly, the word class is not mentioned, and that is why the discrimination can be there. Discrimination can be there, and that is why you see a criteria, a merit based criteria for admissions in educational institutions. ठीक है, merit based criteria क्या है? It is a discrimination on the basis of capability. That discrimination is allowed because this is not there in these 4 grounds. Is it clear? I hope you do not have any doubt under Article 29. ठीक है, यही क्वेश्चन बन सकता है आर्टिकल 29 से. So we are only covering the type of questions that they may ask. Now let us move to Article 30. Now Article 30, is it limited to only minorities or it is available for all? Article 30, is it limited to minorities or is it available for all? Yes, it is only for minorities. Just remember the difference between these two articles. The first difference is this, that Article 29 is available for all citizens. Article 30 is available only for minorities. And these minorities are only to be recognized on the grounds of either religion or language. It means Article 30 recognizes only two types of minority, religious minority and linguistic minorities. What rights they have under Article 30? They have the right to establish and administer educational institutions of their choice. They have the right to establish and administer educational institution of their choice. This is provided. Then it is also provided that the state shall not discriminate while granting aid to those educational institutions. The state shall not discriminate while granting aid to those educational institutions. The third ground is, which is also mentioned under Article 30, is that while there is compulsory acquisition of property, then during such an acquisition, the compensation should be provided in such a way that it does not restrict the right of the institutions. I'm repeating it again. The 44th Constitutional Amendment Act added one provision which reads as 31 subclause A, saying that in case of compulsory acquisition of educational institutions property, the compensation should be given in such a manner that it does not restrict the rights of the minority educational institutions provided under Article 30. This is what is there in Article 30. Okay, I hope this is very clear to you. This is a little confusing. Restrictions means, for example, that institution requires a prayer ground which needs to accommodate 1,000 students. But now the new land or the compensation that is given, that cannot let them buy a land which can accommodate 1,000 students. So this is restricting their rights. So in such a manner, there has to be adequate compensation. So this is what we need to read in Article 29 and Article 30. Now we'll be doing Article 31. Okay, are you having a full concentration? Just post your comments saying yes, because this is very, very important. You can take your paper and pen if you are writing. Okay, बहुत ध्यान से सुनिएगा इसको. Do I have your full concentration? Very good. तो लिखिए Article 31 repealed. Article 31 repealed. ठीक है? Very good. So right in front of this, Article 31 repealed. यानी कि in our Constitution of India, there is no Article 31 at present. This is not present, which is the important, not deleted. Deleted होता तो 30 के बाद 32 आता या 31A आता. देखिए दिख रहा है ना, delete कहाँ हुआ है? Delete तो होता कि गायब हो जाता. It is not deleted, it is repealed. Is it clear? It is repealed, and but still it is there, because if in future it is to be enforced again, so it can be enforced directly. That is called as doctrine of eclipse. That is called as doctrine of eclipse. It means right now Article 31 is under dormancy. And through which Amendment Act? Through which Amendment Act? It is 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978. 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978. And this year there was mention of this article by Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court of India, and that is why this becomes important for your exam point of view. Are we clear? Are we clear? Very good. Now leave, if you are taking your notes, leave a space for Article 31A, B and C, because if you do Article 31A, B and C today, then you need to take a break for 1 week at least. These are this much heavy articles, so we'll be doing it after DPSPs. First you need to understand what are DPSPs. Uske baad we'll be doing 31A, B, C. What was 31? Right to property. 31 was right to property. It was repealed by 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay. Do we have any doubt till now? Any doubt? If you have any doubt, let me know. No? Very good. Chaliye. Now, if someone asks you, which is the most important article of the Constitution, if someone asks you, it is the most important article of the Constitution. So, abhi to I have already told you what is doctrine of eclipse. I have already told you what is doctrine of eclipse, and I have made a video regarding the doctrines, so you can go and watch that video about the doctrines. Okay. We right now we cannot claim for Article 31. Then there is no need of this article. We cannot claim. बहुत simple बात है. Solar eclipse you know. चलिए सोलर एक्लिप्स यू नो. अच्छा, जब सोलर एक्लिप्स में सन विजिबल नहीं होता, इसका मतलब क्या है? सन गायब हो गया. हम इसका मतलब आर्टिकल 31 अभी गायब है. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो नहीं है. इट इज कॉल्ड एज एक्लिप्स. अगर कभी दोबारा उसको लाने की कैपेसिटी होती है, इफ द पार्लियामेंट पासेस एन अमेंडमेंट एंड सेज आर्टिकल 31 इज बैक, तो दोबारा वहां पहुंच जाएंगे. ठीक है, ये डिफरेंस होता है. अगर डिलीट हो जाता तो द सेम आर्टिकल नीड टू बी एडेड अगेन थ्रू अनदर आर्टिकल, बी इट 395 or 396 it will be there, because at present 395 is the last article. तो इसीलिए डिफरेंस है. वर्ड्स आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. वर्ड्स आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक है, ये समझ में आ गया है. एलजीबीटी कैन ओपन इंस्टीट्यूट, अलाउड टू ओपन. बताया तो, ओनली रिलीजियस and linguistic minority are recognized. Anyone can open an institution, but the institutions opened by any person who belongs to transgender community. LGBT community होती है orientation basis पे. Biologically, if a person identifies himself or herself as a transgender, they are also allowed to open their educational institution, but they will not be getting rights as per the minority institution. Okay. I hope I answered your doubt. एक्लिप्स वाला भी अब क्लियर हो गया है. डॉक्टर एक्लिप्स मतलब अभी ये एक्लिप्स आ गया है, जब एक्लिप्स हटेगा तो वहीं रहेगा. एक्लिप्स हो गया है आर्टिकल 31 थ्रू 44 कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट. 31 आर्टिकल इज अंडर एक्लिप्स. चाहे तो एक्लिप्स हटा सकते हैं, 31 वापस आ जाएगा. दैट इज डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ एक्लिप्स. ठीक है, वेरी गुड. नाउ विच इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट विच इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फंडामेंटल राइट? विच इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फंडामेंटल राइट? टेल मी. आर्टिकल 32. वेरी गुड. ये तो कॉमन सेंस है कि अब पढ़ रहे हैं तो 32 ही है. लेकिन हमने तो पढ़ा था गोल्डन ट्राइंगल. गोल्डन ट्राइंगल इज 14, 19, 21. तो 32 क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट हो गया? नो 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 नो. डॉक्ट्रिन मतलब ऐसा होता है. डॉक्ट्रिन मीन्स ऐसा होता है. ऐसा होता है, क्यों होता है वो कहीं स्टैब्लिश नहीं है, लेकिन ऐसा होता है. ठीक है, दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ डॉक्ट्रिन. आर्टिकल तो एक जगह स्पेशली मेंशन्ड है, दैट आर्टिकल 14. इट मींस यू विल गो विथ योर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एंड सर्च फॉर आर्टिकल 14. डॉक्ट्रिन मतलब ऐसा होता है, दे आर थ्योरीज. एक तरीके से आप समझिए, दे आर द थ्योरीज, द थ्योरीज व्हिच आर इन प्रैक्टिस. तो लेकिन गोल्डन ट्रायंगल व्हेन वी रेड, इट इज 19, 14 and 21. then how article 32 is the most important article? मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट आर्टिकल बताइए. वेरी गुड. अब आपको एक स्टोरी सुनाते हैं. ठीक है, इसको समझने के लिए एक स्टोरी सुनानी पड़ेगी. क्या आप तैयार हैं स्टोरी सुनने के लिए? तो आप मन में बोलिए हाँ हाँ हम तैयार हैं. ठीक है, तो वी आर लिविंग इन अ पेंडेमिक. ठीक है, वी आर लिविंग इन अ पेंडेमिक. वेरी गुड. अब अनलॉक 2.0 चल रहा है. अनलॉक 2.0 इज गोइंग ऑन. ठीक है, नाउ जब अनलॉक हो रहा है तो आपकी सबकी जो है, काफी लोगों ने अपनी इच्छाएं 3 महीने से जो है कुछ लोगों की इच्छाएं होंगी मूवी थिएटर्स में जाने की, कुछ की इच्छाएं होंगी जो अपने फ्रेंड से मिलने की, कुछ की इच्छाएं होंगी पार्क में जाने की, घूमने की, कुछ की इच्छाएं होंगी ड्रिंक्स लेने की, ठीक है। सो एवरीवन विल बी हैविंग देयर चॉइसेस। अब आपको पता लगा अनलॉक 2.0 है, अनलॉक 2.0 है, आप बड़े खुश, ठीक है, आप बहुत खुश हुए जैसे ही आपको गवर्नमेंट ने बताया कि वी कैन डू एनीथिंग। लेकिन उस मोमेंट पे जैसे ही घर से बाहर निकलने की कोशिश कर रहे थे, घर वालों ने आपको बाहर जाने से रोक दिया। तो कैसा लगा आपको तब? कैसा लगा? गुस्सा आया, ठीक है ना, बहुत, खैर कोई है बीप 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 हो रहा है मन में। अब क्या करोगे? गवर्नमेंट तो बोल दिया जाओ, अनलॉक शुरू हो गया, अनलॉक तो शुरू हो गया ना, ठीक। अब इस सिचुएशन में, इस सिचुएशन अगर आपको कोई बाहर जाने नहीं दे रहा तो अब क्या करोगे? किसके पास जाओ? अगर कोई ऐसा घर में हो जो आपको पावर दे दे घर के बाहर जाके अनलॉक कंडीशंस को थोड़ा एक सफिशिएंट प्रिकॉशंस के साथ यूज करने की, तो उस टाइम आपको अच्छा फील होगा कि नहीं होगा? विल यू फील गुड इफ यू हैव एन इंस्टीट्यूशन, या घर में कोई एक फैमिली मेंबर जिनको आप समझाने की कोशिश करो कि हमें जरूरी जाना है, वो आपका इंतजार कर रही हैं, कर रहे हैं हाथ में लाल फूल लेकर, और मास्क, वैसे ही आज तो मास्क लगे जाते हैं, तो ऐसा ना हो कि मास्क के पीछे आपकी जगह कोई और पहुंच जाए तो और ज्यादा दर्द होगा, है ना। तो एक ऐसा आपके पास राइट होना चाहिए कि यू शुड बी हैविंग एन अथॉरिटी इन द फैमिली। तो उसी तरीके से इफ यू आर प्रोवाइडेड सम राइट्स, if you are provided some rights, for example you have the right to freedom of speech and expression, freedom of speech and expression है, लेकिन आपको कोई बोल दे, you are in a protest, और आपको कोई वहां पर बोल दे that if you utter a word, then we will arrest you, how will you feel? You have right to freedom of speech and expression, you are there, but you are told if you utter a word we will arrest you, you will feel very bad। तो उस सिचुएशन में उस राइट्स का क्या फायदा होगा? विल यू फील फ्री? विल यू फील फ्री इन दैट कंडीशन? will you feel free? Will you feel that you have right to freedom of speech and expression? No. And that is why article 32 becomes very important, because if the rights they cannot be enforced, they will merely remain words. If the rights cannot be enforced, they can merely remain words, and if they are just words, what advantage you may have in case you want your rights to be enforced? तो ये तो बहुत डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन है। इसीलिए आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हैज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट आर्टिकल that is right to constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional remedies, it does not mean writs. There is a misconception that article 32 means writs. Right to constitutional remedies means this is the right that is provided to you in case there is any abridgment, in case there is any violation, or in case there is any restriction in your enforcement of rights that are provided by the constitution. That is the meaning of right to constitutional remedies. writs सिर्फ writs नहीं है आर्टिकल 32 में। writs का सिंपल मतलब होता है an order that is to be compulsorily followed. writ का मतलब होता है an order that has to be compulsorily followed. Is it clear? So constitutional remedies we need to understand with our full concentration. Are we clear? बेसिक समझ में आ गया? बैकग्राउंड थोड़ा समझ में आया क्यों ये इतना इंपॉर्टेंट है? ठीक है। Now what does article 32 say? 32 says that you have a right to move the Supreme Court. You have the right to move Supreme Court in case you want any appropriate proceeding for the enforcement of your rights. It means you can directly go to the Supreme Court. This is provided under article 32. The same thing is provided under article 226, where you can directly move to the High Court of the state concerned. So this is there in Article 32. Article 32 says that the Supreme Court will be having power to issue writs. Supreme Court will be having power to issue writs. The writs like habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto, and certiorari. These are the 5 writs which can be issued by the Supreme Court in case there is any violation of fundamental rights. Third, it says that the rights which are provided to the Supreme Court, the Parliament can provide these rights to any other courts. However, the word any other court here does not mean High Court, because High Court already have those rights under Article 226. So thus any other court does not mean High Courts, because High Courts already have those rights. And the rights guaranteed by these articles, they shall not be suspended except as provided by the Constitution. So these rights, they cannot be suspended as except the condition which is provided in the Constitution. For example, under Article 358 and Article 359. So this is what is your Article 32. Any doubt in this article? Except the meaning of these writs. Except the meaning of these writs, do you have any doubt in this article? सिंपल देखिए, हिंदी में समझाते हैं. डायरेक्टली सुप्रीम कोर्ट जा सकते हैं, लोअर कोर्ट से अपील के थ्रू सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाने की जरूरत नहीं है अगर फंडामेंटल राइट्स वायलेट होते हैं. ये राइट में प्रोवाइड किया गया है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जाके क्या अपील करेंगे? सुप्रीम कोर्ट में बोलेंगे हमारे राइट्स वायलेट हुए, हमें रिट इशू करके दीजिए आप. अब वो क्या इशू कर सकते हैं? वो 5 तरीके की रिट्स हैं जो आपको हम अभी समझाएंगे. वो 5 तरीके की रिट्स वो इशू कर सकते हैं. तीसरी चीज, ये जो पावर है वो पार्लियामेंट सुप्रीम कोर्ट के साथ साथ और कोर्ट्स को भी प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं. चौथी चीज, ये पावर कभी नहीं छीनी जा सकती है कोर्ट्स के थ्रू और फॉर द सिटीजन एक्सेप्ट कुछ ऐसी कंडीशंस जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में ही प्रोवाइडेड है. ये बताया गया है हमारे आर्टिकल 32 में. ठीक है, अब समझ में आ गया है? अब तो समझ गए हैं. सीधा जा सकते हैं, वहां जाके क्या डिमांड करेंगे और कहां जा सकते हैं, और कोई आपसे पावर नहीं छीन सकते हैं एक्सेप्ट दैट प्रोवाइडेड इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. बस सिंपल है. अभी तक हमने क्या पढ़ा हुआ था? आर्टिकल 32 मींस ये 5 रिट्स. आर्टिकल 32 मींस दीज 5 रिट्स, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है. क्लियर? नाउ लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड दीज रिट्स वन बाय वन. और रिट्स का मतलब आप समझ गए हैं. Writs means that order which has to be compulsorily followed. Writ means that order which has to be compulsorily followed. That is the meaning of writ. ठीक है? Yes, High Court can also apply these writs. High Court, not only these, High Court can apply more writs also, and also they can use these writs not only for fundamental rights but also for other rights. Not only for fundamental rights but also for other rights. ठीक है, ये भी ध्यान रखिएगा. Now अब एक एक करके रिट समझेंगे. रिट में फर्स्ट रिट इज हिबस कॉर्पस. हिबस कॉर्पस का मतलब होता है ब्रिंग द बॉडी ऑफ. ब्रिंग द बॉडी ऑफ मींस इट इज अ रिट that is generally demanded and that is generally issued by the Supreme Court when the legal custody or that person is not available in front of the family members. So ये writ वहां issue करवाते हैं जहां पर कोई person है who is missing but it is believed that person is might be with the police custody which is not yet registered, or the people concerned or other family members have kept those person in their custody. इसका एग्जांपल था, हादिया केस था एक केरला में, where the family members of Hadia, they kept her under their own custody and her husband asked for the writ of habeas corpus where he demanded that Hadia should be brought in front of her husband so that he is sure that nothing wrong has happened to her. ये मतलब होता है हिबस कॉर्पस का. ठीक है, हिबस कॉर्पस का मतलब ये है कि कोई इलीगल कस्टडी हो, वहां पर द पर्सन शुड बी ब्रॉट इन फ्रंट ऑफ द पीपल हु आर कंसर्न। तो इसका मतलब क्या है, ये स्टेट के अगेंस्ट फाइल कर सकते हैं, ये हम फाइल कर सकते हैं अगेंस्ट अ प्राइवेट इंडिविजुअल, पहली चीज। दूसरी चीज क्या है कि ये जो है इलीगल कस्टडी के लिए, लीगल कस्टडी में हीबस कॉर्पस नहीं लगता है, लीगल कस्टडी में हीबस कॉर्पस नहीं लगता है, ये बहुत अच्छे से ध्यान रखिएगा। इज इट क्लियर? नाउ अदर इज मैंडेमस, अदर इज मैंडेमस। मैंडेमस इज टू ब्रिंग इन द एक्टिविटी। मैंडेमस का मतलब होता है टू ब्रिंग इन द एक्टिविटी, मतलब अ रिट इज इशूड जिससे कि कुछ काम करवाने के लिए कोर्ट बोलते हैं कि ये काम करना चाहिए, दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ मैंडेमस, दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ मैंडेमस। ठीक है। थर्ड इज प्रोहिबिशन। प्रोहिबिशन का मतलब मत करो, प्रोहिबिशन का मतलब मत करो, बट ये रिट सिर्फ जुडिशियल अथॉरिटीज के अगेंस्ट ही इशू हो सकती है, दैट द जुडिशियल अथॉरिटीज दे आर prohibited to take a case in such a condition where either they have crossed their jurisdiction or they do not have the judicial capacity to try that case. ठीक है, maybe due to any reason. That is the meaning of prohibition. Certiorari का मतलब होता है to certify. It means they are also issued in such a case where the judicial body or quasi judicial administrative body, they may not have the capacity to try that case. प्रोहिबिशन और सर्शियोरारी में सिंपल डिफरेंस ये होता है, प्रोहिबिशन केस के ट्रायल होने से पहले यूज होता है, सर्शियोरारी कैन बी यूज्ड बिफोर द ट्रायल और आफ्टर द जजमेंट आल्सो। दिस इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन प्रोहिबिशन एंड सर्शियोरारी। एंड को वारंटो, को वारंटो को सिंपल याद करने का तरीका है ऐसे कैसे। इट मींस यू आर आस्किंग दिस क्वेश्चन ऐसे कैसे, हाउ दिस कैन हैपन, यू आर आस्किंग दिस क्वेश्चन। फॉर एग्जांपल, अ पर्सन is having a government post and you doubt that person is not a graduate, which is the minimum qualification, then you can ask that question, aise kaise? A person, for example, to become a civil servant, the minimum qualification is to have a graduation degree, but if you know that person has not done the graduation and that person got rank 1, so you can ask for a writ quo warranto, aise kaise. This is the power under quo warranto. So these are the 5 writs that you may ask to be issued by the honorable Supreme Court. Is it clear? Is it clear? बाकी बुक से एक बार पढ़ लीजिएगा। आर्टिकल 32, इट इज क्लियर फॉर अस। आर्टिकल 33, आर्टिकल 33 बहुत सिंपल है कि पार्लियामेंट जो है कुछ फोर्सेस के राइट्स रेस्ट्रिक्ट कर सकती है, मॉडिफाई कर सकती है। आर्टिकल 33 आने के चांसेस है बिकॉज नाउ the people who are working in the armed forces in India, they are not allowed to have social media accounts. So it is to the power given under Article 33, given under the Article 33, where Parliament has made the service rules on the basis of which the people who are serving in armed forces, they are not allowed to have their social media accounts. ठीक है। Now Article 34, Article 34 बहुत सिंपल प्रोवाइड करते हैं that there can be martial law, there can be martial law if the parliament wants, and in such a case the rights that have all the rights that you read, they can be restricted. That is given under Article 34. तो अगर आपको क्वेश्चन बन सकता है तो एक martial law is mentioned under which article? So it is under Article 34. अगर ये पूछा जा सकता है who has the right to enforce or who has the right to restrict rights in case of a martial law, so it is parliament. And अगर क्वेश्चन बनता है what is martial law, तो क्या बताएंगे? What is martial law? What is martial law? बताइए। लॉ रिलेटेड टू आर्म्ड फोर्सेस, तो मार्शल लॉ क्यों लिखते? सीधा लिख देते इन केस ऑफ मिलिट्री रूल। अगर ऐसा होता तो इन केस ऑफ मिलिट्री रूल, तो इंडिया में कहीं भी मार्शल लॉ नहीं है। नहीं नहीं, देखिए अब अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे, यही तो इसीलिए तो बोला था कि पॉलिटी वी विल रीड इन सच अ मैनर दैट यू नेवर रेड बिफोर। That is the only way I told you that we will be reading polity in such a manner as you have never read before. The first thing is, it is not explained anywhere. We do not know what is martial law, and also we do not want to know. We do not want to know what is martial law. Okay? Because that would be the critical situation that the parliament have to restrict the rights of the people. So we do not want to know what is martial law. Lekin it is not the rule of the military, because if you read it, that it says that parliament by law indemnify any person in the service of the union or the state. लेकिन मिलिट्री स्टेट में तो नहीं है. मिलिट्री इज द यूनियन लिस्ट, डिफेंस इज इन द यूनियन लिस्ट. और एनी अदर पर्सन, तो जरूरी नहीं है कि वो आर्मी पर्सन ही हो, इन रिस्पेक्ट ऑफ एनी एक्ट डन बाय हिम इन कनेक्शन विद द मेंटेनेंस और restoration of any order in any area within the territory of India where the martial law was in force. Is it clear? So it is not the army rule, it is not the military rule. We do not know, but that is the only condition where the rights can be restricted. ये आर्टिकल 34 में प्रोवाइडेड है. आर्टिकल 35 simply says the parliament have the power. Parliament has the power to make any law regarding the fundamental rights. Legislature of the state does not have any power. ठीक है, तो फंडामेंटल राइट्स के लिए कोई भी लॉ बनाना है where the laws are not self executory, where the laws are not self executory, in such a condition only parliament has the power to make such laws. The legislature of the state do not have any such power. That is there in article 35. Is it clear? And when it is clear, that means your fundamental rights are over. Thank you very much for joining. If you like our lecture, please follow us on YouTube, EduBridge IAS. On Telegram, our channel is EduBridge IAS. On Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter and Quora. And also please share our channel with your family members and friends so that maximum can get the benefit of our free of cost initiative. Thank you very much.